Why doesn't the Torah mention it? Didn't we explain previously that maybe the objective of Yitro is Ichud HaMishpacha, to have the family to be together? And we know the Torah is not a storybook. What happened at this family meeting? Okay? Other than them coming together. But the question is, what happened to Tzipora and the kids? The answer is probably nothing happened to them. I'm sure they're happy to see their husband/father. But here, Yitro, we said yesterday, he's a VIP. Do you remember how how did we prove that Yitro's a VIP?
Because Moshe came to him.
Right, the term Kohen Midyan, fantastic. Your Hebrew is proving fantastic. It says that he's a Kohen Midyan, and it didn't say that he's a Kohen Be Midyan. Very good. It doesn't say that. Meaning he is the priest. A Kohen in Hebrew, and maybe the same usage in the translation in English, is someone that's serving a higher force, a superior force. Lechahen is to serve someone, to submit myself. That was Yitro. To whom did he submit himself? The answer is every idolatry in the book. He tried everything, and he was not satisfied intellectually. He tried every time a different type of idolatry. Yet he left all of it. And from here, the section that we just read in chapter 18, verses 9, 10, and 11, we can understand that this meeting has tremendous significance. Because the Torah relates to this story of Moshe, telling the accounts of the great miracles that God did take us out of Egypt, and all the dilemmas and troubles and problems that we found. And now, Yitro understands that maybe my faith that I had in different types of deities, idolatries, is all false. And now I'm ready to embrace a faith of a God that tells us what has to be done from the beginning of the morning until the late time of night, relating to a nation, an economy, social systems, political systems, and so on and so forth. And when we're reading now the reaction of Yitro, based upon what he hears from Moshe Rabbeinu about God and what God has done for him, it has an effect on him. He is internalizing it inside him, inside his heart, inside his soul. And he's so impacted that he says, Baruch Hashem. He's now using Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, the greatest name of God, to embrace God, to praise Hashem. Okay? And this is what the account that the Torah is teaching us. Wow. But you know what? He says it's not enough. I want to do something on behalf of God. What does he do? Let's read it together. Pasuk Yud Bet. After giving this praise of the God, believing in one God. You ready? Echad, shtayim, shalosh. Vayikach Yitro chotein Moshe ola uzvachim leElohim. Vayavo Aaron v'chol ziknei Yisrael le'echol lechem im chotein Moshe lifnei ha'Elohim. What is he doing? He awakens himself to Lizboach, to sacrifice. Number one, a sacrifice called Olah. One more time? Olah. Second? Shlamim. For the sake of who?
For Israel.
Really? I'd like to know for the sake of who? How do you can prove it to me? It says, which letter is telling me that he's doing it for the sake of God? I asked you for a letter. Lamed. Look, you just can't come in just, late at this moment and start answering all the questions here. Who do you think you are? You should know I'm not insulting him. He and I have an agreement. He lets me speak to him this, right? I'm off the hook. Gentlemen, Yitro is so impacted that he wants to serve God. Sacrifice number one, Olah. God willing, when we come to the Chumash, the third Chumash of the Bible, Vayikra, we'll learn there are different types of korbanot, and each have different objectives. Perhaps the most humble submitting of oneself sacrifice is called the olah. All of the animal offering is WHOLLY, holy, completely burnt. Everything. You, the offerer, the bringer of the gift, not you and not the Kohen, gets a piece of the action. No meat are you going to get to eat. It's consumed totally on the altar. What is that showing? Humility, a total gift to God. I'm humbling myself. That's Korban, sacrifice number one, that Yitro brings. And then he brings Zvachim. Usually Zvachim, Zevach. We have a tractate in the Talmud called Mesachet Zvachim. In the order called, of which of the 6 orders is Zvachim? Kodashim, holies. We learn there the laws of sacrificing, the laws of shchita, the laws of slaughtering, and so on and so forth. It's usually a shlamim, a peace offering. A shlamim is where not only the bringer, the one offering gets meat, so too the Kohanim and other people. It seems to be a party here, am I right? Who's invited? Aaron's invited. Who else? Ziknei Yisrael, maybe the 70 scholars and this and that. With who? With Choten Moshe. And they're doing it Lifnei HaElokim. In the presence of God? What does that mean? Their intentions are so holy. Their actions are so much attuned to the oneness and the greatness of God. And their eating and drinking, apparently, is because of the oneness of God. So, wow. Can we begin to understand why the Torah doesn't talk anymore about Ichud HaMishpacha? There's a new objective in this meeting. And that is what? A great person, a leader from Midian that was a big idolater, has left it and now is embracing the oneness of the God of Israel. This is the headlines. This is on top of the Sinai Desert Tribune, or whatever you want to call it, newspaper article. Okay? So it could be that the Torah here is concentrating on the man Yitro because he's found something he didn't expect to find. He wasn't searching for Judaism. He wasn't searching for one God. He was searching in general. And maybe that's the reason why he merits to be called Yitro, which is from the root of what? One of the first Rashis on the Parsha? Yoter. He has a Parsha named after his own name. Not many people merit to have a portion of the week named after him. And he's called here Yitro. So what we're finding here is something spectacular. But I have another question. Who is eating by who here? Question 1. Question 2, who is the guest? Who is the host?
Moshe Rabbi.
Moshe Rabbeinu is the host? Let me read the pasuk and see if it works out. Yitro is the what? The host.
The host and the catering.
Maybe.
It says, who's coming to the party? Aaron. Ziknei Yisrael with Choten Moshe. Well, it seems to be that Yitro is the host. But he was just a guest. He just arrived on the scene. What does this mean, perhaps?
Moshe helped you.
Maybe it's like he came at the whole tribute of, like, to show honor to the people, and he brings us all.
I don't know if Rashi brings it. The Gemara says it.
Maybe Moshe and Aaron did the shochet.
Gentlemen, there are some that say, I think it's in Chazal, that here is when he converted and joined the Jewish people. And he brought a korban called Korban Hager, an offering of the convert. And that goes along with your saying, Eov, that Yitro is the host. It's his party. He's joining the Jewish people. And what?
I was gonna ask, like, did Yitro join? Did you understand?
So this means that Yitro, according to this understanding, there could be other understandings, but it seems that, he's inviting the others. The Knei Yisrael comes, Aaron comes to the party, and they're all eating part of the Zvachim, and it's all a matter of his joining the Jewish people. My dear friends, not by mere incidents is this portion called after Yitro. We're dealing here with the most famous person from the country called Midian. Do you know what the Midrash says? That about 85 years ago, Mr. Yitro sat on the board of directors in the cabinet of Paro with Eov and Bilam. I see some of you know this Midrash. You want to sit here? What are you making? Okay, eyes. You see the problem with these brilliant students? You see the problem I have here? It's not. You think it's easy to teach this group? I'm telling you, what a difficulty. They make me look like I'm a new student. Okay, so Mr. Yitro was an advisor to Paro, like Bilam and Eov. But when he saw that they're murdering Jewish children, the Hebrews, throwing them inside in the Nile, he left. This is so immoral. This is so indecent. This is so animalistic. So here we see that he left Mitzrayim as an advisor. He became a leader in Midian. And here we see God's supervision. Hashgacha Elokit. God is the Mashgiach, supervising over the world. He's bringing about the events that a great person called Yitro will be the in-law of Moshe Rabbeinu. Two great leaders of the world, Yitro and Moshe. Moshe and Yitro are now married to one another. Okay? Moshe marries the daughter, Tzipporah, of Yitro. So here, Yitro arrives. He gets this great report of what happened here to Moshe, to the people of Moshe Rabbeinu. And now he's bringing Tzipporah and the two children to be under the protection of Moshe Rabbeinu. Formerly, they were sent back to Midian. Remember the story? And they were under the protection of Yitro. Now Yitro understands the coast is clear. He can bring them. That was the initial objective. That objective dissolves. We don't hear anything about Moshe kissing his kids. I'm sure he did. But right now, what becomes a greater issue is Yitro joining the Jewish people. And the next issue we'll have to do, that'll be in our next shiur, is when does Yitro arrive? Okay?